Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. We are in Psalm 24 today, Psalm 24. So I want to give you a little background on this psalm. Most people believe that this is an ascension song, and it may possibly have been written or used during a time when they were bringing the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem to place it in the temple. Now, I need you to understand that in the Hebrew culture and religious mindset, that the Ark of the Covenant, that was where God was. That was the presence of God. It was God. It was the throne of God. And when it was in that Holy of Holies, or in that most holy place, that was where God was. He was on that throne in that holy place. So that Ark of the Covenant was sacred to them in so many ways. And it could be because it was the presence of God. So what had happened is that they had lost a war to the Philistines, and the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant. They stole God, right? And but when they tried to keep the Ark of the Covenant, and crazy things started happening. They would put it in one of their temples. They'd come back the next day, and their idols would all be fallen down and broken and that sort of thing. So they realized the Ark of the Covenant had some kind of power they didn't want to mess with. So they put it on a cart and they sent it back to hook some oxen up to it, pointed in the direction of Judah, and they sent it back. Winds up in a place called Kirjath Jearim, I think is how you might say it. So David decides he needs to go get it. So he goes to get the Ark of the Covenant. The problem is, David doesn't carry the Ark of the Covenant the way God commanded Moses to carry it when he gave him the instructions for how to make it. They were supposed to carry it on poles by man. A man was supposed to carry it with poles. Instead, they put it on a wagon. And so they start bringing it back. And because the wagon hits a little rough spot in the road, the ark begins to fall. A guy named Uzzah reaches up, touches the ark. He's just trying to keep it from falling. But he touches the ark, and God strikes him dead right there. So now David, he's angry, probably angry at himself, angry. He was just trying to do the right thing. But he sins, he takes the ark, he just stops. And he takes the ark to the house of a guy named Obed-Edom. So then years later, David decides, you know what, it really is time to go get the Ark of the Covenant and bring it back to Jerusalem. And so now, again, it's like they are bringing God back to Jerusalem. And so most people believe that this psalm represents and is written as a representation of when they are coming to Jerusalem, and maybe they're coming that final stretch, and they can look up on the hill and they can see that city. And then so the first thing that happens in this psalm is the people who are bringing it, they declare the glory of the Lord. They say the earth is the Lord's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas, and he has established it upon the waters. They are praising God as they are bringing this ark back to its rightful place. And then they say, well, who can ascend into the hill of the Lord? Who can stand in his holy place? And the answer is, he who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully. He will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of salvation. This is Jacob, the generation of those who seek your face. The bottom line is, those who find the righteousness and the clean hands and the pure heart in order to stand in God's holy place are those who seek the face of God, those who seek the relationship with God, those who seek just the presence of God. The face of God represents his presence. The hands of God represents what he can do. For those who just want God's presence, for those who just desire God's presence to be back in its right place, those are the people who are able to stand in his holy hill. So then they cry out and they call for Jerusalem to open their gates and let God come in. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory will come in. And they say, well, who is the King of glory? It's the Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates. Lift up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. They call for Jerusalem to raise the gates. Let the Lord in. Well, what Lord are we letting in? The Lord who fights your battles. The Lord who wins your victories. The Lord who is the commander of the hosts of the armies of heaven. He is the King of glory. Lift him up. The message to you today is, you lift up the gates of your life. You lift up and open up the doors of your heart and let the King of glory come in. Who is the King King of Glory, the King of Glory who will fight your battles, the King of Glory who will win your victories. He is the King of Glory. Open up. Let the King of Glory come in, the commander of the hosts of the armies of heaven. Open up your lives and your hearts today and let the King of Glory come in. Wow. Now that'll get you off to a good start to the week and to the day, right? Wonder what God might want to do today. Get out there in faith today. God bless you. Love you. Bye.